Happy TSW6 launch day, everyone. It is Matt from Train Sim Society. Welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new. So TSW6 is officially out now for everyone. Early access is finished. The game is live across all platforms, and at the same time, we've already got our very first patch. There's also a huge Steam Autumn sale running right now too, so there is a lot to talk about. Now, for the sale in particular, the discounts are some of the best we have seen yet, with up to 90% off of root add-ons. I went ahead and took advantage of this myself, picking up some add-ons that I had been holding off on and finally filling in most of my missing collection. Not everything, but I'm almost there now. But I do want to say again, I feel really bad for console players here. Steam gets several big sales a year, while on Xbox, I feel like you guys get like almost nothing. I feel like even PlayStation fares better, and that's really disappointing. You guys definitely deserve your own mega sale, especially with all of the older compatible content that hasn't been discounted in quite a while. But even now with launch, there are still entitlement issues going on. On Xbox, entitlements aren't appearing right away. The workaround is to search manually in the store to find your own add-ons and download them. On Epic, if you claimed TSW2 during the free game program, your compatible content entitlements will be arriving in the coming days as teams work with Epic to enable them. And for Steam players who purchase the TSW6 Special Edition bundle are missing their MBTA HSP46 entitlement, which the team is working to fix. So it hasn't been the smoothest rollout, and also counting in all the issues for the early access launch, that was rough. It's just frustrating that every year we release this game, or re-release I should say, and add a new number to it, we have these issues all over again, and none of this would happen if we didn't do this. It's just disappointing and exhausting. But I do want to say one thing: the team has been very clear, very open and transparent with us about what's going on, what needs to be fixed, what's being rolled out or what hasn't. So I definitely want to give them some credit there, but it still doesn't take away how I feel about this yearly release cycle overall. Not a fan of it. We also have a day one patch, which I am personally so grateful for, because I have run into so many issues and so many bugs that just really put a damper on my early access experience. Of course, at the end of the day, we are paying beta testers. Most of my issues happening particularly on Leipzig to Dresden. The DBBR 101 has been tied to timetable issues with stuck doors, and I'm glad to see it is fixed today with this first patch. That does make me happy, but it is still frustrating that we saw this issue not only in the preview stream, but for early access launch, and that the game launched in the completely unacceptable state that it did, given the amount of bugs. Also, don't get me started on the Morristown line and how many Aero 3 services actually start on unelectrified track, and you're unable to even begin the service. These are major oversights. I don't know how these slipped through and how these were pushed to release. Now, with my frustrations out of the way, I want to go through the day one patch notes. So for core, they removed train faults appearing in scenarios. Thank God. They fixed an issue causing Dovetail Live Login to not appear when selecting the sign in option. They fixed an issue causing an incorrect controller layout to appear in the UI. And coming this week, so I'm believing it's not today, but it seems as though they have fixed the PS5 audio pop and crack issues. And that includes audio cutting out during gameplay. Now, for Dresden to Leipzig, they reduced traffic in one of the scenarios for PS4 and Xbox One to optimize performance. They fixed an issue causing ZS3 to show up while shunting is displayed on signals. For the BR442, they fixed a display issue causing the HUD and screens to report power being applied when no power was actually being applied during wheel slide conditions. For the BR294, they removed the headlight objectives for Leipzig's big helper scenario to prevent them causing the scenario to be incompletable. Now, we have one fix for the Riviera line, and that's on the Class 150. They increased rarity of wiper faults. Now, we have a much longer list for Morristown line. They added the climb up prompt that was missing from Summit platforms. They fixed an issue causing announcements to stop playing after 20 minutes. Yay! Fixed an issue causing announcements not to trigger on platforms at Secaucus Junction. Fixed an issue causing passengers to clip through railings when spawning on foot. Fixed an issue causing a dustbin at Convent to pop in and out of existence. They fixed snow textures appearing incorrectly at Hoboken Terminal and Maplewood. Fixed an issue at Denville and Maplewood lighting during fog at night. Replaced station announcement at Convent to Convent Station. For the ALP46, they fixed a UI issue causing NJT ALP46 to appear incorrectly when selecting. And one for the multi-level cab car, they updated safety systems audio on training center multi-level. There's our DBBR101 fix at the end here. They fixed an issue with doors not working as expected on the new Leipzig to Dresden route. Hopefully this fixes the timetable issues, because I have personally noticed that every single time the entire timetable grids up, either at Dresden or Leipzig, it's because of an intercity train stuck at a green signal because their doors, I guess, maybe can't close or can't open correctly, and it causes everything to freeze up. I did an entire hour-and-a-half run from Dresden to Leipzig in the Talent 2. It took me like an hour and a half. I made all the stops. I think I had like 25,000 action points, and as I was approaching Leipzig, I noticed a yellow signal ahead of me. Going 160 kilometers an hour, I threw my train into max brake, acknowledged PZB, and I was slowing down considerably fast, and I would have made it in time for the stop signal. But then, unfortunately, a 500 hertz magnet kind of appeared out of nowhere well before I was below the 85 kilometers an hour. The emergency brakes went on, and because of that, the wheel slip started, and for some reason my train was like barely slowing down, so I ended up spatting after all that work, and it was so frustrating. I quickly saved after I ran that red signal so that I could load back in and go to the map and just see what happened, and guess what? Take a wild guess. IC service at Leipzig, frozen out of green, all the traffic around Leipzig stuck at reds, so it's like every single run was the same. And you know, I felt like maybe I was a little too harsh on this route in my review, and honestly, I wasn't harsh enough. This should not have been released in that state. Point blank period, I'm gonna say it again. Rant over, I'm sorry, I really needed to get that out. It's just, sometimes you have issues and it just really irritates you, especially when you spend so long on a service and then you can't complete it. But that's the full patch rundown. It is a solid start. I definitely expected a little bit more for day one patch, I'm not gonna lie, but it is nice to see fixes rolling in quickly, and it is also nice to see a lot of transparency from the team about what's broken, what needs to be fixed, and them just constantly updating us with what's going on. I really like that they're doing that, so keep on doing that. But again, all of this definitely does not take away from how messy the early access launch really was. Very happy with the sale though, I do have to say, but I want to know how things have been faring for you. Have you had a smooth launch experience, or are you running into the same timetable problem, or at least did you? Has that seemed to fix for you now with the DBBR101 fix? I personally need to go in and test that out because I haven't yet. And also let me know if you grabbed anything from the Steam sale. That's it from me for this video. Take care guys, and happy rail simming.